He played for the LA Dodgers, the New York Yankees, the Chicago White Sox, the Oakland A's, a two-time World Series champion, a five-time All-Star, and a 1982 Rookie of the Year. Steve Sax in the house.
How you doing, Joey? I wanted to get to something real quick. That
Yeah.
earthquake that happened in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope everybody's okay down there. I think it was a small one, which is good.
4.3.
Yeah, I think it was just sort of rolling up to the dinner table. But that might have been what that was.
That was Tommy.
Yeah, so go ahead, Joey.
Now, you grew up in Sacramento.
Yeah, I grew up in West Sacramento, and got a lot of family here and a lot of friends, and I wanted to come back here and live where I grew up because
Yeah.
that's what, it's most important to me is my family and friends here. So
You got drafted by the Dodgers in '78. Started playing, what, in '82 for the team?
I came up in '81 actually,
81.
and then my rookie year was 1982, and it was the only team I didn't want to play for because I was such a Giants fan growing up. I told my dad, man, when I was a little kid, I'll never play for the Dodgers ever. And then they went out and drafted me. I said, yeah, I wouldn't do it for $1 million, Dad. And then $985,000 less
Is that what
it took. Yeah.
So you're a Dodger and you play for them, and then all of a sudden you become a New York Yankee, which is my team. That's when I met you.
Yeah.
Ball players aren't as attached to the teams as the fans are, right?
Yeah.
You were a Yankee, then you went to the White Sox. No big deal. I was like mortified.
Well, I didn't want to, when I left the Dodgers, I didn't want to leave the Dodgers. But it became apparent that we were on two different wavelengths here. So it was about a 2-minute negotiation after being there for 11 years and winning 2 World Series, and it was over. So I went to the Yankees, and my career went full circle after going to New York, and then I actually got traded to the White Sox, so that one wasn't my choice. The organizations I played with, I was so fortunate because I played in those 3 big markets, and so that was a good thing for me.
Tell me about the book and what Shift is all about.
Shift is a book that I written recently. It came out a few months ago. It's been endorsed by Donald Trump, which is something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's right on the cover.
Yeah, and it's Shift. Change your mindset and you change your world. And it's really a way of thinking. And but if people want to go and check it out and see what I'm doing in my speaking, and I also do executive coaching where I coach executives and athletes and just anybody really that wants help. They can go right to my website. It's stevesaxspeaks.com.
stevesaxspeaks.com. I was there last week. I was amazed at the power, the energy, the insight you have in your speaking. I was like, wow, because when I met you in '95, you were a completely different guy. Ball player.
Yeah, and it's I had done some speaking previously, but when I got out of baseball and I got out of finance, I was doing finance. I did that for about 10 years at the Royal Bank of Canada. I became disenfranchised with that industry, with what was going on with Wall Street and everything. So I decided to go another direction, and I just really love what I'm doing in the speaking industry. It's such a fun thing, and I get to give some takeaways that people can take that can help them in their personal and professional lives, and that's very rewarding.
So it's not just you talking about the old days in baseball. It's you motivating people, giving them insight and tools. That they can use.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when people are looking to hire me, they look and they think, okay, we need somebody to come over and talk about the 1982 locker room.
Yeah.
I don't even do hardly any references at all. Mine is a much more deeper thing than I talk a lot about history and different things, and a lot about how people can make themselves better simply by what they think about every day.
And Donald Trump says, a terrific and motivating read. Steve is a true winner. You really are, Steve.
Well, thank you.
You address in the book the Steve Sax syndrome, too.
Yeah. I talk a lot about that.
Explain what that is real quick.
Well, really what it was is I became afflicted with this mental block about throwing the ball, and it completely infected me in every business, in every part of the playing baseball, and I couldn't get rid of this problem. And there's a conversation I had with my dad on the day that he died that turned everything around for me, and it was the only time in his life that he actually made himself vulnerable to me, because you know what my dad was like. So I do a lot of that in my speaking too, but that's what turned that throwing problem away.
Yeah, he was a second baseman, and he couldn't throw that ball to first base accurately. It was a mental block, and it was costing you a lot of trouble in your career.
It almost cost me my career.
Wow.
And it's funny because when I went through that, Joey, people remember that. They remember it was only like a few months.
But they remember it like it was forever.
And then I went to the Yankees. I led the league in fielding all the years I was there, and people don't know it.
You won Golden Gloves and everything else.
They just talk about the throwing thing. But you'd be amazed at how many people have gone through this. I'll tell you another quick insight. When I was at Dodger Stadium, I was in a broom closet talking to one of the players that was going through the problem. Nobody wanted to see me talking with him because they knew that he had blips about this problem.
Yeah.
I was hiding out in a closet talking to this guy about it. I won't mention his name because I kept it secret. But I'm talking to this guy about this problem. You'd be amazed at how many people have it.
If you want to hear more of our interview, just go to our website, 921khits.com, and we'll have more of this. But in the meantime, I want to wish you the best of luck, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Which you don't really
appreciate it.
need because you're doing great.
Thanks, buddy.
Steve
And
Sax.
Joey Mitchell looks exactly the same from 30 years ago. I mean, it's amazing. You're like a time warp.
He's such a liar, but that's why he's a
True.
motivational speaker. So do you, man. You still got those arms, huh?
Oh, thanks.
Working
Thank
out
you.
every day?
I'm doing it 6 days a week.
Yeah, me too. Steve Sax,
Thank you.
92.1 K-Hits.
Liar!
Good job.
All right,
Good
Joey.
job. Stay here. We're going to keep talking.
All right, cool.
How long did you play with the Yankees?
I was there 3 years.
3 years.
89, 90, 91. Yeah. But see, when I went there, nobody cared about me. They wanted Ricky Henderson. They wanted Don Mattingly. They wanted all these, Jack Clark, all these guys that, were in the press a lot. I just went there and did my job, man. I got to sneak in under the radar. I found it a lot less pressure-packed than playing with the Dodgers. Even though it was New York.
Yeah,
and
New
LA's
York
laid
talks
back.
about,
Way more pressure in LA than in New York.
That poster you gave me, Sax on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
You were in the shadows.
Yeah.
Even with that poster. And
Yeah, the thing about going to New York was that there was these expectations of all this pressure, okay? And I had a meeting with the press on the day I signed, because every time they signed somebody, they had a meeting, they
Right.
introduced you to the press. And I just said, look, I'm going to play hard, I'm going to do what I can, and if any of you guys take any snide shots at me, if we win the 7th game of the World Series, I'm not talking to you. So let's be professional, boys.
very cool. Set it out right there.
The first day, and I never had one problem with the press ever. They were totally cool to me, and when I was needed to be ripped, they did, and that was cool. I understood that.
Okay.
But don't do the sly stuff where you're going to start some deception in the clubhouse. Hey, this guy said this. This guy said this.
Yeah.
We didn't do any of that, and so I never had any of it.
You played for Lasorda, right?
My whole career with the Dodgers. Yeah.
And that's what the problem was, right?
Mhm.
Did he give you trouble?
No, he was okay.
So who was giving you trouble over there? 'Cause
Oh,
you
it wasn't
said you
Lasorda.
left-
It was Fred Clare. He was
Oh.
the GM.
Oh.
Lasorda called Clare and said, "Fred Clare, sign him. I want him on my team." It wasn't Lasorda.
Oh.
It was Fred Clare. It was like a 2-minute negotiation. You couldn't believe this. And they said, "This is what we're offering him. It's very serious." My agent said, "That's a serious offer?" They said, "Yeah." And my agent said, "Well, if that's a serious offer, what's the bottom line?" And they said, "Okay, we'll get it." They pissed off. And they walked in the other room.
Wow.
There it is. And my agent looked at it and they said, my agent says, "Okay, well, here's what we're looking for." They said, "We don't want to know what you're looking for." Well, he said, "What?"
What's up with
And
that?
they said, "You asked for our bottom line, and there it is. If you don't like it, go get one somewhere else better." And I said, "Great, I will." And I did. Way better.
Unbelievable.
Here's the problem. My agent was Jerry Kapstein, okay? He was like the best agent in baseball.
Uh-huh.
He had a falling out with the Dodgers over Garvey leaving and going to San Diego 2 years earlier, and they were always at this big rift between them. There was this rancor between Lasorda and the Dodgers. So it was always there. So when I came up, they were like, "Okay, screw this guy."
Because of him, they take it out on you.
Yes, 'cause
Oh
they hated
my
Jerry.
God.
And he was at the All-Star game in '86. He had 7 of the 9 starters on the National League team were his.
Wow.
How good was this guy?
So
Right?
he get you the gig with the Yankees?
Got me a really good gig.
Okay.
And then he had a nervous breakdown after that.
Oh,
agent.
my.
So I had to get a different agent. But this agent I hired like an assassin. He came in, I had 2 years left on my contract. He came in and got me a 4-year extension in the middle of a contract. That was huge. And that's what just did it for me forever.
So it really is like the movie. Show me
It
the
is.
money.
It is. Jerry Maguire is the best depiction that I can get as far as the agents go. Maybe a little bit sensationalism, but not a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a ton.
So you leave the
Calm
White
down.
Sox for the A's. How long did you play for the A's?
2 weeks.
What happened?
The strike hit.
Oh,
Strike
yeah.
happened, and then that was it. Then they shut her down for '94. I was under contract through '95, but I had a heel operation, and I was going through my divorce, and I used the heel operation as a ruse not to go back and play. So I didn't. That was it. I didn't have it in my heart to play anymore, but I
You
sure like
retired,
getting paid.
Yeah, yeah. That money was great.
I sure like getting paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's called Shift, and you want to pick it up? Once again, what's the address?
They can go to SteveSaxSpeaks.com.
SteveSaxSpeaks.com.
Right.
Stevie, I love
All right,
you,
Joey.
brother. You
Love you,
know
buddy.
that, man.
Thank
You're like
you.
family.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks for having me in, too.